Welcome into the show, everybody. Hey, we're glad to have you. If Michael and I sound a little tired, it's because we have been on a content tour, man. We went to the Saruka event in New Orleans,
which was probably the best food I've ever had at an event.
That was definitely the best event food. And the paninis were good. The potato bar was legit. The potato bar was legit. The potato bar was legit.
Yeah.
Anyway, the pasta was good. Anyway, I was like, event food typically is it's okay. I don't want to go and like beat anybody up on their food, but you're correct. It was a good venue. I mean, the venue was fine.
If I was going to run an event, I use that venue.
Yeah, that was a good venue.
We played pickleball.
We did play some pickleball.
And we surprised the people we played with.
I think my favorite comment was, "Oh, y'all are using the cheap rackets."
Or the cheap paddles were like, yes.
Yeah, that was,
I mean, these were like $40 a piece, but sure.
Which I didn't realize there was a level of pretentiousness that came along with pickleball.
Oh yeah,
I was like, okay,
but then the best
part.
But then, like I told you, with pickleball, it's so funny because you can like equal out somebody's skill pretty quickly,
right?
And we did, which was really funny to me.
Well. Anyway, you're listening to Walk-Ins Welcome with Nick and Michael. We're glad to be back for what feels like a typically a normal episode. We don't have a guest. We have a topic, but it's going to be more of a discussion today.
Yeah.
And we're back from our content tour. We both had a speaking spot. Michael spoke to people. I did not.
But we had them both recorded, and we will be having those as episodes in the near future.
You know what's funny about that is I went back and I listened to my talk, which I don't always do that. But
Your preacher talk?
My preacher talk. I was dropping some fire content in there to no one. Like, I mean, you were in there. Don't get me wrong.
There were three of us.
Yeah,
four of us.
You who are partner in the company, a competitor, and an urgent care that we can't even serve because we're locked out of that region.
Yeah, we're locked out of the area.
So it was.
So no wins there.
No, what it did is it took all the pressure off.
Yeah,
and I was able to go in and just give what I felt was one of my better talks.
Yeah,
because I had nothing to gain, nothing to lose, nothing. Like, I'm just going to, like, legitimately, I try to do this anyway. You always tell yourself, like, you're just here to serve people.
Yeah.
But, you know, if there's somebody in there that may want to buy some marketing from you, you know, that's always going to be in the back of your mind. That was not in my mind. And so I was able to just go into that talk and give it. And I got to listen to kind of the middle to the end of yours.
Yeah.
You had a lot of good questions, very engaged audience.
One.
Yeah. But you had more people in there. So.
A couple more for sure, but that is the challenge when you're the last speakers of an event on a Saturday,
where there was already hardly anybody there in the first place. Not to the Saruka events.
No,
it was circumstantial.
Yeah, because the government shutdown created issues with air traffic controllers, which then created some like I don't know if I should fly or not.
Yeah,
and then people just backed out last minute because they just weren't sure. We have our own plane, so it didn't really matter. We had air traffic controllers the whole way through.
Yeah, we did. But did notice that it was remarkably quiet.
It was like the air traffic was very quiet.
Right. Exactly.
It was kind of cool.
Well, we do have somewhat of a topic that will kind of unfold. We were having a conversation with somebody. I don't honestly, with all the conversations, I don't remember who, but we were having a conversation with somebody. I think it was with a company out of North Carolina, but the topic came up. Why are we only at 20% of our volume of last year? Not them. I mean, they haven't even started working with us yet.
Yeah.
But just like
the trend was weird.
The trend is 20% of what it was last year, which means out of 100 patients, you would only have 20 this time.
Yeah.
Right. So you're like, great, Nick, you explained math. Sorry about that. Anyway, and it came up. I guess I was doing some research. I had something show up in my feed, and then my general nerdy pilot weather knowledge kind of tied it all into a knot, and apparently that piqued your interest. So
so all right, this has been an interesting year. We had a late flu season. It came up a little later than we're all used to, but when it came in hot and hard. Like it made people real busy. Our summer was slow, but not super slow. It was actually less slow than normal. Then we've noticed with almost all of our clients, patient volume was generally lower in September and October and parts of November compared to summer. And that's very odd behavior.
Right.
So it triggered like, okay, what's going on here? This seems very odd. Because then I did an initial search and just looked like, yeah, I mean, urgent care searches are down like 30%. Like just demand is down 30%. This is weird. I'm going to dig a little deeper. And so I went to Google search trends. By the way, you can do this yourself. Just look up Google search trends, and there's a search trends function. You can drop in any keyword you want, and it will show you the search trends. It doesn't show you like actual 10 million people search for this. It shows more of the percentages of searches versus historical percentages. And that's where the 20% mindset started coming from. So I pulled it. I was like, let's see how real this is. So I pulled up the whole country on Google search trends. And lo and behold, when I did a flu symptom search, because most people, when they think they're sick, they always default to flu or common cold. And so that's kind of like our indicator of like, are people actually sick? Are they looking for things? COVID's another example of this. And so you look at the search trends and you follow the graph, and the graph is based on 100 is the peak scenario, like time. And of course, 0 is the least time. And so when you went and looked, and I did like 12 months worth, 100 was mid-December of last year. And then February was very strong. And then it started falling. And then summer was like 40%, 30%. We enter September, October, November, it's like 10, 20%.
Right.
Significantly lower than summer, which is bad, right? Like that's not good. And I was like, this is absolutely wild. Like, why is this even happening? Like, I mean, we all have trends of like when the weather changes, things typically we see a shift. When you go back to school, you see a shift. And then when holidays happen, you see a shift. And that normal shift of the weather changing just did not happen. Like, it just did not make an effect. The people just aren't as sick. Or what we were discussing with the other day with the client was, yeah, we're kind of sick, but we don't feel sick enough to like justify a copay.
Yeah, I can hear a little bit in your voice right now.
Yeah, I got like just a hair, like a sign, like literally y'all talked into existence yesterday.
Me too. Sorry.
Like just like a hair of sinus, but it's like not enough. Like I can feel it, hear it, but I don't feel like garbage.
Right.
So like I don't want to go to a doc. I don't want to go to an urgent care, spend the copay just so they can make me feel better. I feel like I'm going to feel better anyway in a day or two.
Nothing that a little NyQuil or Sudafed or
something,
something over the counter.
Something, just to knock it out enough, and then you're like, I'm fine,
right.
Whatever. And so I think, and that's what we're like, okay, this is happening across the country. Like people are in that mode, and you have an economy that's not very favorable right now. So people they don't want to spend a copay or cash price just so they can feel better a day quicker in their mind. And so like you have this weird spot. And so take all that, because we're trying to just figure things out, like what is happening. So you take that info, and then you combine what you saw from James Spann.
Yeah. Our local weather celebrity.
Yeah. So if you're
made a comment that just kind of blew my mind.
Yeah. So just for some reference here, James Spann is a meteorologist here in Alabama. He is the man of Alabama. If there was a superhero for Alabama, James Spann is the guy. He has saved lives with his weather reporting. And not even joking. Like when we had tornadoes go through Tuscaloosa, he was on TV live for like 30 hours straight trying to keep people alive, and it worked. Like he saved lives, and he also learned along the way how to make things better. So the whole state respects him, and we also joke if his suspenders are out, we're all going to die.
Yep, because he comes off.
The weather is extreme if suspenders come out. And there was even one time where a tornado was coming through Birmingham, hit his house while he was on the air, and he said, "Give me a second, let me go check with my wife." He comes back, she's fine. Our house is kind of messed up, but she's fine. And just kept going.
Yeah.
So he's just like this hero that we all respect, we all love, and when he speaks, we listen.
Yeah.
So anyway, so go.
All right, where does that all tie in?
Yeah, where does it all tie in? So Nick saw a post or a comment on something, and this is where we're connecting the dots.
Right. So the comment from Spann was simply that it's been a full year since a hurricane has made landfall in the United States,
which is wild.
Yeah, and up until that point, it had been 40 years since that had happened. All right. Well, the time frame is kind of
mute.
Yeah, it kind of irrelevant other than just kind of to give you some scope here. So why does that matter? Well, okay. We're talking about urgent care and tying it to a hurricane. How in the world are you going to do this? All right. So hurricanes come in a high pressure system, high pressure weather system. And you know this, and I know this because we've both had wives that have been pregnant before. When that high pressure comes in, your body changes, right? It puts pressure on your body, also puts pressure on your sinuses, right? And okay, great. There's not a high pressure system putting pressure on the outside of our body, on our low pressure internal, right? On our sinus system. Well, what I learned in aviation is a lot of the pressure system affects your inner ear.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm clearly not an anatomy person, but I had to learn that being a pilot because we're at altitudes, the pressure changes at altitudes, which is why you can get sinus sickness and pressure. Well, sinus, when you drain, that's where your upper respiratory problems come from.
Right.
Well, none of this is happening right now because there's been no high pressure system. But all of this was triggered from low search volume, no hurricanes, which made me think, okay, well, there's no high pressure systems. Well, if there's no high pressure systems, we're not getting pressure put on our sinuses. If we're not having pressure put on our sinuses, we're not having drainage. If we're not having drainage, we're not having sore throats and we're not having upper respiratory issues. Well, no wonder search is way down.
Yeah.
This is an anomaly. It hasn't happened in 40 years.
Yeah.
So we're in this weird weather system that's countrywide. And we haven't been around our families to go spread germs and disease and cheer.
Yeah. Well, and it's real. And so, and it's a real thing that we're seeing, because I was looking at search, because I can see, as of yesterday, there's been just a small uptick in national search trends for like flu. So we can see it starting to shift just a little bit. Still no hurricane around.
So it's people taking those early Thanksgiving breaks.
Well, right. They've hit the point. Also, honestly, this is the most stressful time of the year coming up. So people are like getting mentally ready for that. Yeah.
Guilty.
Yeah. Or as my dad would say, happy holidays, boo-hoo. And yeah, I mean, it's real. Like there's a lot of parties. I mean, I had my hair cut this week and I was talking to the barber and I said, what are you doing for Thanksgiving? He's like, well, we just had Thanksgiving yesterday, being on Sunday. And so that's going to be contributing where people are having Thanksgiving right now versus just next week. So you're going to see some trending there. But yes, the idea of the hurricane situation, it all makes sense. You know, we're not scientists here and we're not data scientists where we can connect all the dots, but we have enough dots to say, well, this is oddly related to each other. Right. And you know, you were talking about the wives with children thing. My child was 4 weeks early, and they even said it's because of because there was a hurricane, Dorian. We have
it really does make a difference.
Well, we were, and the reason why I know Dorian is because when she was born, her first stuffy thing, we named it Dorian, just so we would always remember the hurricane that caused her to show up real early. So,
right.
But it was so funny because when we went there to the hospital, they said, yeah, usually we have like 5 to 8 maybe deliveries. Today we're at 20 or 30 because of the hurricane. And so like if and we're in Birmingham, Alabama, that hurricane was in like Florida, but it made that much difference.
Pressure systems are what it's all about.
Yeah. And that's the reality of it. So, but yeah, I think the idea, like when you have science, because I really do think, because I right now have a little bit of something going on and I'm just like, I don't care enough.
Right.
And I think that's what's happening to a lot of people. Like, I don't care enough yet. It's not hurting enough, or it's not making my life miserable enough. I may wait and not go to that doctor just yet. So I can see, and this is what we're trying to say to our audience here. Like, we're trying to connect the dots here because we see the data. We have a lot of data and we see all the things. And this is what makes sense to us. I wonder if it makes sense to you, audience. Does this make sense? Are we crazy? I'd love to have comments on this or email to say
they're probably like, Nick, Michael, that's a stretch.
Y'all
are really trying here. And I'm like, I get that. I really do. But there is a weather anomaly, and it's a good one, by the way. I mean,
technically, lives are not being sacrificed right now by hurricanes.
This is the weather anomaly. If you're going to have one, oh no, we're not getting destroyed by weather. Yeah, that's a good thing. Right?
Yeah. So, I mean, like there is a balance, right? But because I was curious when you said that, I was like, I want to see when all these hurricanes are at. I did not know that NOAA.
Would you say you fact checked?
I fact checked, but it's out of curiosity. Out of pure curiosity, because what I wanted to do was correlate the search trend data with hurricanes,
right?
And there's some correlation where it's about 30, 60 days after a hurricane that seems to be an uptick in issues.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was seeing at least. But it was just so fascinating because I didn't realize that they kept up with how many hurricanes have hit landfall in the U.S. since like the 1800s.
That would make sense.
Which is super cool to me. But they're right. Like every year there was 1 year like multiple hurricanes that hit. I was like, oh man, that's pretty rough.
Yeah.
But then it was weird because it showed all the way 2024 and it said 2025 none.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's bizarre because we just heard about the one in Jamaica not long ago, but you just assume it made it to Florida, but never did.
Right.
It turned off.
Yeah, it turned off. Yeah, it cut away.
Yeah.
That's wild though. But honestly speaking, I think that's part of the reason you're not seeing the uptick in normal volume is because we're in a hurricane season.
Yep.
Without hurricanes.
Yeah.
Which you can't help but know or understand that weather systems play a part in our health. They just do, right?
Absolutely.
Pressure systems play a part in our health. Changing of seasons play a part in our health. It's safe to say that if we're not seeing those changes in the weather, probably not going to see those changes in our health either.
No. And then you have, I wonder too, because our weather right now in Alabama, it's always weird at this time of year, but it's super weird right now. 2 weeks ago, we had record lows. Today, we have record highs. Like it's 80 degrees outside, and it's November 20th, 2025. Like we're a week from Thanksgiving, and I'm in shorts right now.
Sure wish it would be like in the high 40s, low 50s or something during Thanksgiving.
Yes.
That's kind of my Thanksgiving jam.
Yep.
I don't mind the 20s and all that as long as we're in January or February.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. But anyway, yeah, I think you had brought it up. I wanted to bring it to a podcast episode and just talk about it because it's so fascinating. And I'm trying to nothing else makes sense to me at this point.
Right.
Where, because you saw me like 3 or 4 weeks ago looking at Google search trends, like, God, this crap is down. Why is it down?
Yeah.
Like, why do people aren't getting sick right now?
To tell you why we're looking at it is because our clients are going, where are our patients? And I'm going, man, I can't make people sick.
Yeah,
I can't do that. I can, when they're sick, we can make sure that you're the person they go to. But if they're not sick, I can't do anything about that.
And so here's the test of the audience. According to Google search trends, the 2 states that have the most searches right now for flu-like symptoms, so probably the 2 sickest states right now, randomly, is Mississippi and Alaska.
Man, we were just in Mississippi too. That kind of makes me nervous.
Yeah. So Mississippi, we were last week. Mississippi and Alaska. So if you're listening in Mississippi and if you're listening in Alaska, write us.
Hang in there.
Tell us and say, hey, yeah, we saw some uptick in patient volume the week before Thanksgiving.
Selfish ask too. We have a urgent care clinic that we work with in Hawaii, but we do not have one in Alaska, and that would be cool.
We got to check off every state.
If you're listening in Anchorage,
we can help you.
It seems to me like that would be a good place for an urgent care.
Especially right now, apparently.
Well, there you go.
All right, guys. Well, that was a fun episode. It was actually nice to have a non-interview episode.
Yeah, just breathe a minute.
Just take and talk. Hopefully in the next few months, we'll have some updated podcast room at some point, working on that. Equipment's expensive, but comes as it goes. Hey, if you increase your YouTube views, we'll move quicker on the podcast equipment as well, because it's very video based and what we want to upgrade.
That's right.
And then our goal is actually too. So we do have a mastermind that we're looking at right now. Am I okay to talk about it?
Go for it, man.
Okay. So this is, I'm going to put this out here. This is for the true fans who have listened all the way through the episode, because we know who you are.
That's right.
So March 24th.
That's a great question.
Late into March.
Yeah.
There is a mastermind that we're working on for just urgent cares. No vendors, except for us, because we're running it.
Technically, we're not going to be a vendor.
We're not
there.
a vendor. We're a host.
Yeah, we're hosting it.
And it's a urgent care owner invite only type of thing where you get put on a waiting list and so forth. So it's very specific. We only have a handful of slots we're going to do, but it's a true mastermind roundtable. We're going to have some people come in to talk about certain things, but majority of it will be focused on you sitting down with an urgent care owner across the table with you and a couple other urgent care owners. You're going to talk about your problems, what solutions they've done, and basically help fix your business and grow your business. We do this a lot in 7FA, which is the thing we're part of for the agency world, where I'm sitting at a table, Nick's sitting at a table with 9 other agencies that some could be a competitor, a direct competitor to us, but we're here to help each other because we have the abundant mindset, and we want this the same thing for our urgent care space. So
I hope you'll register. The link will be down in the show notes. We would love to see you there. And I promise you this, nobody's going to sell you anything, and you're going to walk away with incredible insights on how to grow your clinic.
Yeah, because you can bring all your problems to the event, and you're going to have multiple people trying to help you fix your problems.
That's right. Love it, man. We'll see you there. I hope if you're going into Thanksgiving or you're coming out of Thanksgiving, either way, I hope it's amazing for you. And I'm thankful for the review you're going to leave. See ya.
See ya.